Assassination Classroom. Okay, this is some random shonen series where it focuses on kids that trying to kill their teacher. Is what Old Brew thought. And then Old Brew started reading the manga and goddamn! Old Brew loved the series. Why is Brew referring to Brew in the third person? Here's an in-depth look at how Koro-Sensei is the best teacher in the world and I would kill to be able to kill him. Let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start. When we kill, we begin with Koro. I don't know. I'm not good with lyrics. Okay, Koro-Sensei was not a sensei at all, technically. Oh, spoilers. Go watch the series or read the manga and then come back here. It's a really fun episode, I must say. But Koro-Sensei was technically the best to worst assassin in the world, known as the Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper was an assassin who was secluded and mysterious, but took on a boy as an apprentice after he killed his father. Yes. Weird. The boy really wanted to kill people, like he saw the Reaper kill his own father. Eventually, the Reaper turns out to be this teacher who never sees his student. He just looks past him and expects him to do everything that is told and asked of him. The student betrays the master eventually and takes on his name, thus becoming the new Reaper. Koro-Sensei is then taken to a lab and experimented on, giving him tentacles and making him a monster. He accepts the experiments as he can see how it would make him stronger and then bides his time for his escape. In this time though, he has the most life-changing experience ever. You know, aside from growing tentacles after illegal human experimentation, he meets a woman, a very normal woman named Aguri Yukimura. Aguri is a woman who's engaged to the researcher who is conducting all these experiments, but she is ill-treated and abused. And Koro-Sensei doesn't really like that. But Koro-Sensei and Aguri talk and learn a lot about each other and they fall in love as it usually goes. Aguri is a teacher at a certain school part-time for the certain class called Class E, where the worst of the worst students are sent as punishment and other students are threatened to be sent to Class E if they don't behave themselves. She's a very devoted teacher and she's very interested in the future of these children. She constantly tells Koro-Sensei about how she wants to help these kids and she instills in him, for the first time in his life, a sense of genuine caring and helpfulness for others. The more they talk, the more Aguri has an effect on this now ex-killer. Eventually though, the relationship does come to an end as the research facility realizes that Koro-Sensei would die in a year's time, irrespective of what he did, and he would most likely explode violently when he does, potentially destroying the entire world. So he tries to escape, but Aguri tries to help him and is killed by the defense system of the lab. Koro-Sensei is obviously broken by this death and he decides to live his last year of life carrying out Aguri's will. He embraces her love for a better future for these kids, these poor kids who can't do anything, and decides to make sure that he would teach Class E how to become stand-up citizens with multiple skills. That is the backstory. There's a sense of tragedy that comes up with the story of Koro-Sensei and how he ended up teaching this class. It seems like he's a monster that needs to be killed at the start to save the world. Nobody even knows why he's going to destroy the world, as nobody knows that he's going to explode. But as time goes on, he shows that he deeply cares about the students he's teaching and he goes to insane lengths to make sure that they have the tools that they need to tackle life. Now, Koro-Sensei looks at each student and helps them in ways that are unique to them. We make sure that they understand the subject matter in their own personal way. For example, one student is really smart but doesn't like reading textbooks at all, but he loves anime. So Koro-Sensei watches his favorite anime and makes his own version of the theme song with science words and topics put in. Now this might seem stupid to a lot of people, but this was actually an idea that Kid Brew had. Except I was bad at writing lyrics, as you can see from the start of this video. The idea actually came to me from what I might call the best math teacher I ever had, who made a song to teach us about the different formula for perimeters or volume or something. I don't know. I failed math after the teacher stopped teaching me, so this is just one example, but there are tons of different ways that he teaches students. He even uses his super speed to teach multiple students one-on-one. He creates visual clones of himself, and he ensures that they get all the attention they need for the subject that they are versed at, so that they can get better at it. Now, this isn't something that human teachers can do necessarily, but maybe try moving really fast. Okay, jokes aside. Moving on, Koro-Sensei also has a deep level of respect for his students as their own beings. In one instance, a student is forced to leave class due to their mother claiming that it would hurt their future if they stayed in this class. Koro-Sensei is happy to let the student leave, but on the condition that the student wants to leave the class themselves. Not due to the parents, he wants to make sure that the student himself really wants this for their future. So he goes on to tell the parent that parents should not live their lives through their children and should let them live their own lives and let them make their own decisions within reason. That doesn't mean your child wants to jump off a building and you allow it. Okay, I'm not saying that. Now, this might seem like a small thing again for a lot of people, but primarily in Asian countries, your life is controlled by your parents to a large extent. Having Koro-Sensei do this shows how important it is for students to do what they want to do and not simply listen to their parents about everything. Again, listening to your parents is important. Don't jump off buildings just because you want to. But for life decisions, like if you want to be an artist, yeah, you should do it. Doing what you want is more important in life. That even it's your life, right? That's your life. Again, this is a real problem in Asian countries where parents try to live out their dreams or what they couldn't do through you, or decide that they know what you'll do in life as parents know best. They refuse to let you do what you like or what you want because they don't think it's right. For example, art-loving students are often forced into science and majors related to science just because they think it pays more than being an artist. In India, if you aren't a doctor, scientist or engineer, you're basically dead weight. Like me! Koro-Sensei also takes an interest in many things that have no academic value at all, technically. Like teaching baseball to a student. He actually goes to a baseball game in America, and then he feels up the baseball player with his tentacles and then comes back and feels up the student with his tentacles. It's a little weird, but he really does help, I promise. And he emphasizes that working on yourself as a person is just as important as studies. He can fly at Mach 20 speeds and even takes 2 students to watch a movie in Hawaii as they love the movie series. That's literally it. Again, not possible for normal teachers to take their students across continents to watch a movie, but you can take them like to a local movie theater, I guess. There's a lot of different things to learn from these methods. Unlike other teachers, he also heavily relies on practical methods of teaching rather than just theory. Granted, a lot of it is assassination techniques, but he still makes sure that they get a lot of practice and actually do what they're learning instead of just reading a textbook. I cannot stress how invaluable this is. As a person who has struggled in school and college for years and years and years, and this is one of the reasons I didn't go on for a higher education than my basic college degree. Teaching by letting students do something is far more useful than memorizing things. A computer teacher of mine used to use a projector to project what she was doing on the PC on the wall and teach us how to use Adobe software by making us take notes. Thankfully, I had used and learnt enough on my own to pass the class easily because I was making random videos at the time. But yeah, you get the point. Koro-Sensei, back to Koro-Sensei. At his base, Koro-Sensei is what more teachers should aspire to be like, in my opinion. It's not the plump face or the tentacles or his superhuman strength or his Mach 20 speeds that make him a good teacher. Rather, it's his ability and interest to go above and beyond for his students. He makes sure nobody is alone. No one is bullied in the class. He helps them get over things that cause them sadness in life. One of his students gets dumped by a girl because he's in this shitty class, and Koro-Sensei actually helps him feel better. No teacher has helped me when I got dumped by girls. God damn it, teachers! He also holds one-on-one sessions to help them decide on stuff like career paths, and he makes them feel more confident in themselves. And he doesn't coddle them, but he gives them lessons that help them grasp the subject matter much faster in his own unique way. Also, it's really important for teachers to give you career counseling in some way and to tell you that whatever you want to do, it's okay to do it. That's what Koro-Sensei does. He doesn't tell you hey, don't become an assassin, screw you. No, he's like, become an assassin if you want to, but are you sure you want to do it? Nobody has ever told that to me. Now, this isn't a shot at teachers in our world, okay? Sure, okay, there are some terrible teachers. that probably don't even care about teaching, but most of them are trying their best. Okay, some of my favorite teachers though were those with these unique and interesting ways of teaching, and not the ones who just come into class and be like, okay class, open up your textbook. Koro-Sensei does make you open up the textbook, but he adds his own style and ideas to things. All this is made even better by the fact that Koro-Sensei isn't doing this because it's his goal or something. He was inspired by the love of teaching of the person he loved, and he decided to take her mission forward in the limited time he had. The love and care he shows for his students are genuine. He isn't acting nice for the sake of his love, but is genuinely attached to his students. He genuinely wants them to have better futures. He makes sure that Aguri lives on through him and helps him create a brighter future for these students who the world has given up hope on. Finally, Koro-Sensei also leaves behind a yearbook and an advice book for the students when he knows he's going to die. The books have a ton of information that are actually like this thick, and each book is unique to the student that was made for and has a lot of advice written down for them according to their life situations. In the yearbook, he actually puts a lot of photos of them that he sneakily clipped, which again sounds a little weird, but it's really nice if you read the manga. Okay, it's obviously an exaggeration, but a good teacher should be able to give out encouragement and help in a way that's unique to each student. Koro-Sensei is a man who's heartbroken but finds new purpose in the remnants of his life. Thankfully, the care he shows his students is shown back to him as he's surprised by his class for his birthday. He's emotionless and speechless as they all sing happy birthday to him. This touched me, okay? The character is displaying the same smile. It's the same smile you see on that photo over there. But the way the panels were drawn were absolutely tear-inducing. You could feel the love from the students as they sang the song. And even though the face is the same, you can see the gratitude on Koro-Sensei's face, if that makes sense. So, closing thoughts. Koro-Sensei is the ideal teacher, not because of his superpowers, but because of his teaching style. Unorthodox, caring, genuinely supportive, and teaches his students to be better people who can think for themselves instead of just robots who learn something and recite what they memorized. This ensures they have a much higher chance of doing what they love in the world and being happy with it. A lot can be learned about how to teach from this manga, and personally, I'm really glad that someone put this much thought into a great teaching method in a manga. I'm also really glad that such positive and encouraging messages are put out to kids that will see them, read them, think about them, and it will help them in life, and it will help them do better as they're inspired by Koro-Sensei. By the way, you should check out our last podcast episode where we talk about manga as an art form. This one really fits in. Finally, it's also hilarious and has a ton of references throughout, like this Koro-Sensei as the spaghetti monster that's like really cool. There are a lot of anime references. So do check it out if you haven't already. If you'd like to discuss Koro-Sensei and Assassination Classroom in general, you can leave a comment down below or join our Discord where we have a ton of discussions and arguments about anime. You know how anime people get passionate, and we'd love to talk anime with you as well. So like, share, follow, and we'll be back next week with another inspiring, tear-inducing topic.